Good morning. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Janine. Good morning. Good morning. It's Monday. Now, I know not everybody is already in summer break. My kids are, um, but other schools are not this week. So I don't know. I guess some are having one more week. Oh my God, it's Janine's birthday. Happy birthday, Janine. How are you? How's the move? How's the new spot? Good morning. Good morning. I don't know if this is working. I think so. There we go. Good morning, Anna. Yeah, YouTube isn't showing me that anybody's here, but clearly someone is. So I don't know what's going on with that. She's loving it. All right. Good morning, Cassie. Good to hear. Happy birthday, friend. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Misty. How's everyone doing? I feel very not sure of my schedule and what to do with myself yet. So we'll have to see. Good morning, Yvonne. So if this is your first time here, good morning. We're going to pull some cards, talk about the energy, check in. Good morning, Jen. And hello, Deborah. I put a question on my Instagram asking everybody how the full moon in Sag was feeling for you guys, and it was kind of a mixed bag. I saw a lot of people were feeling really tired from the moon this weekend, or maybe just from life. Who knows? Who knows anymore? Jen's still feeling hermity. Good morning, Christine. Yvonne says feeling pretty good. The air is fresh and clean. Here in Harrisburg, in Harrisburg, actual city, there was a crazy storm this weekend. And I think it was Saturday. I think it was Saturday. And it only hit like one spot in Harrisburg for what I'm seeing, and trees actually came down. But a few miles away there was just like a little bit of rain. Some places there was nothing. Like it's just a really weird storm. But after that, it really um, eased up the pressure in the air, and it wasn't so damn hot, which was great. It was a big release, and now other stuff is surfacing. Misty says, I'm tired. Yes, Harrisburg. Misty says, I'm tired, but my body won't allow for sleep this whole moon cycle. Oh my God, how terrible. Good morning, Erin. I actually ran into Erin in person when I was out to dinner, lunch. I forget. I was out with my friend Amanda, and we ran into Erin, and it's just so great to see people out in the wild. Um, Hi, where do you live, Jamie? I live in New Cumberland, but you know how it is. Good morning, Janelle. Janelle, it's Janine's birthday, and she's here on Instagram. Good morning. Hi, Rachel. Good morning, Nara. Carlisle. Okay. Yep. Hello, neighbor. All right. Good morning, Jacinda. Hi, Ron. Man, I'm sad to hear about no sleep. That's torturous. Janelle says, "Happy birthday, sunshine." I'm just here just to send notes from each of you to each other. Oh, Did any of you normalized magic friends do the exercise of visualizing the arrow with your quills and all of that? Did you guys do that for the full moon? Good morning, Susan. Good morning. How did it go for you? I did it too. I was very proud of myself. I actually drew the arrow with the things and like really went into detail. And I felt like I felt like it was good for me. Way to go. Oh, good morning, Denise. So, also, today's kind of a cool day. It's the 5th, which means I have been here in this house for 2 whole months, which seems totally crazy to me. So I've been here for 8 weeks. Like, what the fuck? Time is so strange, but also, I really love it here. I'm so happy here. So it's interesting because, like I told you, it's crazy what can happen in 8 weeks. It's like you can be living in an entirely different home that you didn't even know about. Like 2 months before I moved. So 8 weeks before I moved, I had no idea that I was moving. I had no idea that I was going to sell my house. Like none of those things were in my mind of things that were happening. And then it happened and now it's I don't know, it's just really wild. I feel grateful for that. I feel grateful for it. But yeah, 2 whole months. I'm looking forward to it. To the rest of the things. Good morning, Tiff. Wow, you're on here early. You're on here early. Oh, yes, Jacinda says this is like another baby grand piano moment. I love that you remember that. And just like it as an FYI, my piano's still with me. That was another thing. Like a few years ago, I bought this fucking baby grand piano and like I couldn't afford it, but somehow the guy gave me the baby grand piano for the price of the upright that I had the cash for. And it's this gorgeous matte black, fucking sexy piano. And it was just like one of those moments where like I've made it in life. And then like of course my whole life fell apart, but like that's how it goes around here. Anyway, when I was moving, I was downsizing quite a bit. And I did not know how I was going to find a place where I can fit that fucking piano because it is big. And most places, like especially like the ranchers that I was looking at, didn't really have a designated space for just a massive piano to sit there. And this house just happened to have an addition, which was a sunroom that the piano fits in perfectly. It's like the piano and my plants are all in there and it just works. So I was actually playing this morning. So it's really good. Everything's great. Like there's just it's not all great all the time, but my foundation feels great now, I think is the difference. Like there's still chaos and there's still things that I'm going through, but my foundation is not chaotic, which is helping me so much to actually navigate my life without completely losing my mind. So it's good. All right, well, let's get to it, friends, because I've got a 10 o'clock and I can't forget that. If you're new here, again, welcome. It's Coffee and Magic. We're going to pull some cards. I'm going to give you 3 things this morning. You choose which of the 3 feels most aligned for you this morning, and then we'll get you your messages. We're coming off the energy of this full moon in Sagittarius. I was digging it. I was digging it. Thank you, Michelle. The 3 things I'm going to give you are birds this morning. And they're not sponsoring me, but if you don't have the app called Merlin, it's by Cornell Labs, you need to get it. It's like Shazam for birds. So you turn on the app and it listens to the bird calls around you and tells you who's singing. And it will highlight who's singing so then you can learn them. It's very cool. It's called Merlin, like the wizard. And it's available on Android and iPhone. You're welcome, Cornell Labs. It's the coolest fucking thing. It really is. Like, it's great. All right, so your three things are birds. Christine says, "I've been enjoying it all weekend." Yeah, it's very great. I get up in the morning and I go sit out on my porch and I have my coffee and I turn on Merlin to see who's singing. All right, your birds. The first one is a blue jay. The second one is a catbird, and the third one is a woodpecker. Blue jay, catbird, and woodpecker. Blue jay, catbird, and woodpecker. Yes, think of me as you learn all about the birds. Blue jay, catbird, and woodpecker. Now I'm shuffling. Mhm. So here's a question. Do any of you think that forgiveness card is going to come back out today? Or do you think that we figured it out and did all the forgiving this weekend? Let's see. Blue jay, catbird, and woodpecker are your choices for this morning. Excuse me. I should not chug carbonated beverages during Coffee Magic, but oh my God. Tiff says, "I hope we figured it out." Susan says, "No, we're good." Nicole says, "We are done." Christine says, "I, I think I did the forgiving." Michelle says, "I hope we figured it out." Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see if we did or not. All right, here we go. This is going to be blue jay. You're choosing from blue jay, catbird, and woodpecker. Okay. Tell me when you're ready for did you see that? Tell me when you're ready for blue jay. All right. Here is your blue jay. We've got the Grail Knight, Fire Fairy, and the horse. All right. It looks like some of us are singing a new tune. So double thumbs up for us. Okay, here we go. So Grail Knight, Fire Fairy, and the horse. I'm going to start with the Grail Knight. If you picked my goodness, if you picked blue jay and you have any dominant Pisces placements, please let me know. I'm curious if you have any dominant Pisces placements and you picked blue jay. Okay. And what do I mean by dominant Pisces placements? It means anywhere in like rising, sun, and especially Venus or Mars. Okay. So, and moon, of course. Anyway, that was just for me curiosity because of the vibe coming through this. So here we go. This is your blue jay. We're starting with the Grail Knight. This is all about illusions. Okay. And your fascinating and well-developed ability to create a story that feels better for you than the reality of what's actually happening. Okay? Especially around people who are exhibiting poor behavior that your brain can't seem to like understand, right? So the Grail Knight is about those illusions. Okay, let me give you an example of this. Imagine you're in a relationship with somebody, okay? And they keep lying to you, all right? and they keep lying to you about like really dumb shit, and you keep catching them. But they say, "Oh man, like it's not a big deal." And you keep saying, "Well, it wasn't a big deal because like they didn't have to lie. It was just like a mistake they made." And I understand that they have some traumas with trust in the past and with feeling like restricted in relationships, and I totally understand that, but they're a good person and they don't mean to hurt me when they do this. They just can't really help it. That's you creating an illusion of a story to allow you to keep this going, right? To allow you to remain in a relationship with somebody who is actively hurting you by lying to you. But then you are creating a story that allows them to keep doing it. Do you see what I'm saying? Grail Knight is here to clue you in to the illusions that you've turned into a reality for you that are not based in any empirical evidence. Now, we're not here to be obsessed with empirical evidence. Like that's not my vibe at all. However, when somebody consistently does something that is fucked up and it hurts you, and you consistently find ways to stay in that space to keep getting hurt in that same fucked up way, that's when we need to look at some evidence, because there's a disconnect between the reality of the situation and what you are doing to allow yourself to stay in there, right? So look at any illusions that may be playing out, because if you're in that space, remember, you can't. I saw this thing over the weekend that was like, the universe can't bless who you're pretending to be. Something like that. It was like the universe can't bless who you're pretending to be. And this is all about those masks and those stories that aren't really you, right? It's about alignment. So the reason that this might be coming up for you, and I'm sorry, it's so wordsome this morning for me, but you're really needing to be whoever it is you are. And some of these illusions are not rooted in who you actually are and what you actually know. So it's just time to update the systems and kind of whoop any illusions that are any illusory stories that are really there to protect other people and keep you in a specific space. Because you've got some forward momentum happening. You've got the fire fairy and you've got the horse. Sometimes this is more about getting help, but it's not today. This is let's go. It's your creativity catching a ride on your strong foundation rooted in alignment. Whoop, 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 whoop. We're off we go, right? Those two things playing together, they're off to the races. You're going to have the best time. Your alignment, you're riding in strong foundation of your alignment. And this fire fairy is here to really help you expand, okay? And try new things and be very successful at them. So here comes that vibe again. But remember, let go of the illusions, okay? Stories are great, except when they keep you in a painful situation. So that is your blue jay. I hope that hit for some of you, you know? And then the next one is going to be catbird. So if you're just joining, we've got catbird and woodpecker on deck, literally. Good morning. Michelle, thank you so much for sharing the live. I appreciate that so much. All right, catbird. You're choosing from catbird and woodpecker now. Tell me when you're ready. Good morning, Beth. All right, here comes catbird. You've got fear, the owl, and the cow. Let's talk about these two first. Fear and the cow. So, my cat bird friends, you're already aware of the need to apply yourself in the area of receiving, right? Because you're so good at giving, you're only comfortable giving, or you were only comfortable giving, and you realize that's not balanced and you needed to make some changes there and allow yourself to start receiving. And you did. Okay. I'm feeling that you very much did. Here's the thing though, with a program that has been embedded within you for your entire life, it's not that easy to just be like, oh, I no longer have that program. Bye. It is and it isn't, right? Because there's still a lingering muscle memory. And if you, here's where the boundaries come into play, right? If you find yourself around people who are, who still very much believe that receiving is selfish, right? And that you should only be giving or have a very lack mindset and any of that, it'll be very easy for you. In fact, hardly possible for you to avoid this. You're going to dip back into that old vibe. You're going to dip back into that way of thinking because you have all the equipment to do that, right? It's very easy. Even it might even feel a little bit comforting at first because you're like, this is familiar. And we are creatures of habit and familiarity, right? So has that happened to you? And have you found yourself, maybe hanging out with some people who have that old mindset and it's rubbed off on you again and you just like kind of realize it like, oh shit, like I'm thinking that way again. I'm not open to receiving anymore. And very possibly maybe I've been told that like I want too much. I'm asking for too much and I don't want to be that way. And this is just letting you know that you were already making massive strides in that area and you didn't lose that progress. You just found yourself in an environment that it just kind of, pushed you into that space again. So just like you got pushed into it, you can come back out, right? Come back over here. It's um the boundaries are so important right now because like we've said, you all have very thin skin and I mean this in the best way possible. You new baby skin because you've made so many shifts and change to the programming that you were using. So now you're learning new ways, right? You're just kind of wide open and your boundaries are to protect that thin skin, right? Until you're in such a place where you will not be reactive or react to those same triggers, right? You just need some time to heal, to toughen up your skin, to get it used to sunlight, to get used to the new reflexive behaviors. And if you're constantly being bombarded by somebody who makes you jump back into old behaviors, that is really hard to do. It's exhausting, right? So for some of you who like feel like, oh my God, like do I even have any friends left? Like people just drop like flies these days. I can't seem to keep them. That's not gonna last forever. And trust that your own alignment is going to attract more aligned people into your life. And having a few close aligned friends is so much more nutritive than having a whole crowd of friends who all they do is mess with your energy and make you feel less than, right? So we've got that. Now, in addition, you have the owl. And the owl's just asking you to be very observant. Again, this is about the people. Be very observant. People say a lot. What do they do though? Right? We love talking, but at the end of the day, what's the action that follows up the talking? Notice the people who follow up their talk with an action and notice those who don't. Observe, observe, observe. Okay? That is your cat bird for this morning. The last one is going to be woodpecker. So if you are just joining us, maybe woodpecker is for you. Right? It could be. You're welcome. Did that resonate for my catbird friends? So, for all of my local people, just a reminder, I'm going to be at Pride, the Pride Picnic in New Cumberland. It's July 22nd, it's a Sunday, and I'm going to be there leading a meditation. I will also have a table, and I may be doing some card pulls. I'm not sure yet, but I will have stickers and maybe some other goodies for you, or just, come and say hi. Would love to see you. That's in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania for Pride on July 22nd. Additionally, if you are interested in working together, the next 12 weeks of the Normalized Magic workshop, membership, whatever you want to call it, whatever I feel like calling it, begins in July. So we're closing out through June. So if you're interested in joining us, you can send me a DM or look on my website. The Normalized Magic workshop is more like just it's family, right? Like we meet once a week, Wednesday evenings at this time, and everything's recorded, but it's kind of like Coffee and Magic, but much more intimate. We really get to know each other and create some pretty big magic together. It's it's wonderful. So if that sounds like something you'd like to do, like I said, you can DM me or you can hop on my website to learn more. I'm also still taking one-on-one clients, and you can learn about that on my website as well. Boom. All right, here comes the woodpecker. Uh-oh. Who didn't do it? I knew there was someone. Go ahead, tell us who it was. This is your woodpecker. Oh. Okay. We also have fear again. And then we have the eagle. You almost made it. Someone did it. Oh my god. All right. So let's talk about it. Okay? It's fine. Mm. So remember what this means. We said it last time, but I'll say it over and over again. This is forgiving yourself for your participation in something that has hurt you. Okay? Forgiving yourself for what you didn't know that you wish you had known. Forgiving yourself for ignoring signs, for making up stories for other people, for endless forgiving, all that kind of thing. Hi, Diana. Um, Forgiving yourself for your part in your own misery, right? Or in a situation that turned out real shitty for you. And because you're probably it's much easier to forgive the other person, right? Because we're more used to that. Like, oh, I have to let this go. But what about you? Right? You're the one. You're the one. So if this hasn't happened for you yet, it's just a reminder to keep remembering. It's a reminder to forgive yourself for your participation in your own suffering. You can do this. You can do this. Now, you also have the fear and the eagle, and we're going to talk about this because this actually might be a reason why you're having a difficult time forgiving yourself. We're not taught to forgive ourselves. We're taught to seek forgiveness from others. We're taught to receive penance, to be punished. We're taught to have to perform an action, right, which is the penance, to perform an action to, find that resolution or absolution. We're not used to being the one to bestow forgiveness upon ourselves, right? It seems there's a little bit of a disconnect happening here that might be the reason why it's so hard, right? And we're going to be extremely compassionate with ourselves about that because you're not the one who programmed your brain as a child. So we cannot be mad at ourselves about that, right? The fear of forgiving yourself is biblical in its roots. So if you grew up with very strong religious structure, religious training, however that ended up for you specifically, it may be really hard for you to truly allow yourself to forgive because it feels like you're not allowed to. Like that would be kind of blasphemous to forgive yourself because either God is supposed to forgive you or another person has to kind of intervene on your behalf, right? If that's what it is, if when I say that, you're kind of like, maybe that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, again, really big compassion for yourself. Really big compassion for yourself. This is not an easy program to pop out of. And that fear is huge. Okay. So if you keep getting that forgiveness card and you're just like, I thought I forgave myself. If this is what it is, if it's like that deeply seated um, religious program within you, however that is for you specifically, again, it's okay. All you have to do is name it, right? And maybe we just did. Did you just figure it out? Did you name it? Do you know why it's hard to forgive yourself? Great. Then take a breath, right? You know why now. So just take a breath and just keep the intention. I do want to forgive myself. You don't know what the path to that forgiveness is going to be, but I do know I want to. All right? It's okay. It's going to happen. But again, we don't push on that religious program in that way. We don't push and make ourselves feel bad about still having issues with it. We don't do that because that's what that program wants you to do. That program wants you to feel like you are a problem, like you are less than, like you're weak, right? And you're not. So we don't push that program like that. We don't feed it its same energy. So if you've identified that within yourself today, I just want you to be really nice and super kind and give yourself gentle love and support and not say, oh my God, why is this still a problem for you? Ah, right? Don't do it. Take a break. You've identified it. That was big enough. Okay? The eagle is here to ask you to ask for help. You have a whole energetic team, however that looks like for you. Ask for help. Is it praying that works for you? Is it connecting to source or spirit that works for you? Is it just going outside and talking to a tree? I don't care. Ask for help from your energetic team. You can do that at any time, but you do have to ask. That's how it works. You don't just get the help from existing because you are a sovereign being. So if you want something, you got to say something. That also translates to human relationships. If you need something, you need to let the other person know. And just like that with the energy, right? You ask and then you receive. But if you need help right now, ask for it. Close your eyes and think about it. Say, I really do need some help. I will take some support, however that works for you. But ask, okay? That is your woodpecker message. Just drilling home. All right, friends. Well, it's been a pleasure to connect with you this morning for Coffee and Magic. I hope you had fun too. I hope you have a really great rest of your week. For Normalized Magic friends, I'll see you on Wednesday night at 7:30. And of course, I'll see some of you in sessions later. And I will be back at 10 a.m. on Friday for more Coffee Magic. Tell your friends. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Goodbye, YouTube friends. And